Hi guys, so there's a little thing I want to say to set up these clips. Since the following clips have exclusively live commentary, it's not going to be as coherent and pieced together as it otherwise would be. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to put some stuff in the description. One of the things is I gave the original release of Dark Souls 2 a positive review, and then I gave Skull of the First Sin a negative review, so I'm going to put links to those reviews if anyone wants to read them. I realized with this setup I talked longer than I was going to, so I'm going to put some of this later in the video. I forgot to buy Lightning Spear from Licia, so I had to go all the way down to Earthen Peak to get Lightning Spear, which is a real pain in Skull of the First Sin. I'm guessing a lot of people have played both versions, but for anyone who hasn't, Earthen Peak, if you want to just go around and explore the area and don't do a rush to the boss, it's really obnoxious. They just put a ton of those mannequin guys everywhere. Even if you know exactly where the ambush is, you're still going to get wrecked half the time. And this might piss off some people, but I gave Skull of the First Sin a negative review on Steam. Now, if Steam allowed a neutral review, I would have given it a neutral or mixed review, but I gave the original Dark Souls 2 a positive review, and I think in terms of gameplay, Dark Souls 2 is as good as the first one. There's some other things like NPC stuff and whatnot that aren't handled as good, but yeah. Now, I have revised my opinion of Dark Souls 2 a bit since writing those reviews. One is about Dark Souls 2 being significantly more unfair than the first Dark Souls. I don't really think that anymore after going back and forth in the games. Maybe it's just because I got a lot better at Dark Souls 2 and got rusty at DS1, but I think maybe overall the Dark Souls 1 is maybe a little bit more fair, but compared to the normal opinion in the community, I don't agree. I think the first Dark Souls is a better game overall, but Dark Souls 2 not nearly as bad as some people think. And I actually am going to be I have some clips from a Dark Souls 1 playthrough I did a while back, which I'm kind of complaining about the difficulty, and also just the comparisons between Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 2. So I am critiquing both Dark Souls, so either people are going to think I'm balanced for doing both, or everyone's going to hate me. I don't know. And once again, just keep in mind that these clips, they're live commentary, so it's kind of rambling, disjointed to a certain extent. I'll put more coherent information in the description, so be sure to check that, and as soon as I get the DS1 video, the rants about that, I'll post a link to that in the description as well. I really hate this fight. It's not a fun fight. It's an interesting fight, but that's the thing with a lot of people complained about Dark Souls 2 having too many humanoid bosses and gets kind of boring, but the thing about Dark Souls 1, like, the non-humanoid bosses were interesting, but a lot of them weren't very good boss fights, just in terms of gameplay. I mean, everyone has different opinions. That's just my opinion. There's plenty of, this could have been better. I think it could have been done better. That's basically all I'm saying. Yeah, see, and the thing is, like, the reason why I'm hanging out in the corner is because those things actually clip you. Even if you're standing in the alcove, they still go to the side and they clip you, so they don't even let you fight the skeletons, basically. I guess having a shield might have been good, but even though this is my opinion and I dislike the boss fight, I do believe that it's poorly designed. It's not just, a lot of people in the Dark Souls community have this idea that hard equals good. Challenge is good if it can make the game more engaging, but that's not always the case. Yeah, I don't like this fight either, because it's like, if you have enough damage, it's super easy, but if you don't have a lot of damage, it's significantly harder. So it's basically a DPS race, which this is an RPG. You should be able to do different builds. It's a hard game, like, it's supposed to be hard, but they tried to do it again in Dark Souls 2 with Ruined Sentinels, that's even a better example of how dealing with multiple sets of AI is just, it's I don't want to use the term artificial difficulty, because that, well, partially just because people get really pissed off if you mention artificial difficulty. Well, unless it's people criticizing Dark Souls 2, complimenting Dark Souls 1, but yeah, try Rune Sentinels one-on-one, it's pretty easy. I mean, if you're new to Dark Souls, it's still getting pretty tough, but compared to fighting 2 or 3, if you fall off the thing, you might as well just reset. I mean, that's what Lobos Jr. does. He'll just quit and reload, then you start outside the fog gate. So if you are doing Ruined Sentinels and you fall down, just quit and reload and you'll start out the fog gate. I mean, you'll lose any Estus you have, but you're gonna almost for sure die otherwise. Yeah, I don't know why they added so many. And they added these guys probably just partially to screw over speedrunners. There's so many enemies, there's a guy shooting you. I gave Scholar the First Sin a negative review on Steam. Between this and the NPC invaders, and this was already a problem in the base game about just the huge gangbangs. Alright, so hopefully we can knock this guy in the water. Nope. I think they went overboard with the Hide Knights here. They really did not. They really didn't need this many. This is one of the reasons why I gave Scholar the First Sin negative review. I mean, the NPC invaders is probably the biggest reason. Got another chainmail. Okay, some people are gonna... Anyone who's been farming the chainmail is gonna be super pissed now. This is gonna suck with low endurance. This is another thing I think they went overboard with Scholar the First Sin. And I know why they did this too. Oh yeah, the hitboxes suck with it. They were trying to promote Scholar the First Sin, so they made some interesting changes to the early levels. They added the ogres in Forest of the Fallen Giants, and yeah, there's really not much you can do except just stand in the middle and hope he doesn't. They also had the turtle guys appear earlier in Forest of the Fallen Giants. Oh, again? Are you serious? Yeah. Yeah, just make sure you drink something, right? Or heal up. But then there was also the Hide Knights and the dragon here, so... Yeah, they just... I'm sure some people enjoyed the change, but... For people who've never played Dark Souls before, it's kind of obnoxious. They basically made this for... They were marketing this towards people who had already played Dark Souls. I don't know how I survived that. I'm dead. Yeah. Did he fall in? Yeah. Alright, let's just do this way. Okay, that didn't work as well as I don't know if I'm off my game or what, but...
Yeah, this is just running past them, I think, is the way to do it. Oh yeah, and they like added some guys up there so you couldn't do that old speedrunner trick people usually do. You know what, let's die. No, well, this is where you get the lightning spear. I'm probably not going to survive because they added a bunch of guys here. Yeah. But yeah, you come up here. Go down here. They also added a guy that drops down here. Yeah, then you drop down here and here. So, yeah. Oh, hey, dude. No. Alright, let's just fucking homeward bone. Oh. Okay, never mind. Yeah, these guys are fun. They're like, I think they're one of the worst enemies in the game. If this was Bloodborne, it would be fine. Because they give you the tools to deal with enemies like this. But with these guys, it's just there's a lot of RNG involved. Like here, I'm not doing anything good. I'm just getting lucky they don't do the moves that, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people are happy guard break goes back to kick. What happens if what? Clear, I got a chime? Really? I have two clerics chimes.